What is up, 7-3 fans? Welcome back to the 7-3 Garage. My name is Brandon. We are back with another video. If you guys did not see the post that I made about 2 weeks ago on the community page, I hate to say it, truck is down. Probably gonna be down for a couple of months here. I'm gonna get into the story as to what happened, but long story short, something's wrong. Parts are already under my my little makeshift workbench here from Jellybuilt. So Brian dialed me right in for some parts. So thank you, Brian, at Jellybuilt Performance. Got everything I need. We're gonna go over all that stuff. Let's get right into the problem at hand. So story goes, about 2 weeks ago, was gonna take my truck out, hadn't driven it for a little bit, wanted to go pick up some groceries for my wife. Hop in the truck, things running awesome. I'm loving it. Wind's blowing over my scalp. I'm having a blast. Truck's running impeccable. Pick up groceries while I'm sitting there waiting for the groceries to come out. I notice the truck it's idling okay, but I hear like a thumping sound coming from the intake. Drive it back home, park it, no problem, take it out about an hour later to go run a second errand. And while the truck is sitting in the driveway, I notice a thumping coming from the intake. Kind of confirmed my fear, just wanted to ignore it. Well, I figured, hey, I'll check it out tomorrow. After I have my engine together, I know some of you guys might remember, I had some issues with my rocker arms on the passenger side braking. Ended up putting zipper valve springs in it, and the problem was remedied. So I figured this probably was just gonna be another broken rocker arm, and it ended up not being the problem. So took the valve cover off. I noticed the cylinder 7 exhaust rocker was super duper loose. Was hoping it was just the pivot ball. If you guys are familiar with the 7.3 valve train, it felt as if that pivot ball had fallen out or became dislodged or misplaced, and that wasn't the case. So pulled the push rod out. I felt the lifter kind of come up with the push rod about a 1/2 inch and then fall back into place. So that kind of prompted me to put a bore scope down into the engine, and come to find out the lifter that is the problem has somewhat collapsed. It looks like the needle bearings kind of came apart. I do have a 7.3 lifter I'll show you guys so you can kind of have an idea what I'm talking about, and that's where we are at, unfortunately. So I figured the best way to attack this is going to be to take the entire engine out. I thought about just pulling off the driver's side head, which I've heard has been done before, but if any of you guys have tried to do that, the task it's just a major pain in the ass, and that cylinder head weighs about 115 pounds, so they're super heavy and it's awkward. And with my luck, I would replace the one lifter and put it back in service, and then I have another one go a couple months later and I have to do it all over again. So I figured we're gonna take it all out, replace all the lifters, which I believe I did replace when I had the engine out. I'm gonna talk about that as well. But let's talk about the plan here, and I'll show you guys what we have going on under the hood. All right, here is our bad lifter. This is, again, cylinder 8 exhaust. You can see that the lifter, it appears that something happened to the pin or the lifter itself has been riding on that cam lobe there. And it looks like it has flat spotted itself, so not good. Here is the sister cam. This is the intake valve. You can see the difference, how it's the roller you can see sitting there on the cam lobe. So it's going to be a fix for sure. Okay, real quick, this is a 7.3 lifter. If you guys have not seen one, it's a pretty standard looking roller lifter. The kind of hard to see for you guys, but under here where the roller is, there are a bunch of, sorry, I'm looking at my camera here to make sure my angle is good here for you guys. The needle bearings are in there, and they're obviously coated with oil. The tolerances are very tight. It acts as a bearing, needle bearing. And it looks like on the video, which I will show you guys, it looks like this has collapsed. So I'm assuming that the lifter just had a failure on its own, which is frustrating. The lifters that I put in there were made by Molly. I believe I put all new ones in there, but the ones that I ordered are all Motorcraft brand. So we will be replacing all of these 16 lifters with Motorcraft lifters. Hopefully I don't have this problem ever again, and I also hope that the damage is not as bad as I think. It's very hard to see without turning the engine over and not having a good look at it, because it's kind of awkward with the bore scope. But if the cam lobe is damaged beyond just a little bit of surface, I don't know what the right word is to call it, like scuffing or abrasions, then the cam's gonna have to come out. I'm gonna probably put just a stock cam back in. I've had a couple of issues with this cam. Otherwise, it's been great. So best case scenario, I change all the lifters out. The cam lobe is good. New head gaskets, heads back on, engine back in the truck. Worst case scenario, the cam is damaged and that cam is gonna have to come out. I'm gonna put a factory cam back into it, and I have to see if there's anything that I really need to do as far as changing up the valve train or changing the spring tightness as far as the shims go. So we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. There will be a ton of content coming with all this stuff. This is not in the plans for this year for 7.3 content, but everybody loves a good carnage video, so there will be a ton of that. Let's jump over to the truck and I'll show you where we are at. If you guys have seen the 7.3 build series, which we did about 4 years ago, this position is gonna look very familiar to you. Here we are again. So I've just kind of been picking away at this thing. It's pretty much ready to come out. I actually have a fan clutch tool. Let me get my light mounted up here. I have a fan clutch tool coming to get the fan clutch off and get all this stuff out. Oil's out of it. Coolant is out of it. All the engine wiring harness has been removed. Turbocharger's off. The downpipe's got to come out. I have a really small list of things that still need to be done. You know, transmission's got to be disconnected. A lot of basic stuff. So I'm hoping within the next week or so I can get this thing out. Frankie's going to come over with his engine hoist that has been old faithful for me over the past couple of years. So we're going to get the radiator core support's going to come off. The AC condenser's going to come off. And we're gonna go from there. We're gonna be ripping and tearing on this thing. Oh, it's amazing how quickly all this stuff comes back. I'm thinking about changing up a couple of different things. The oil system, I think I'm gonna change up a little bit. You guys will have to stick around to see what I'm gonna do with that. New power steering pump. I have some other goodies coming in the mail as well, other than the stock parts that I had to order. But this is how the truck's gonna look for the next couple months here, unfortunately. This is motorsports. This is the way that it goes. So if you guys are in the 7.3 game, you know that this is very possible and this is what it is. So I really can't be too upset with myself about it. This is the way that things happen. But have all the parts kind of collecting like we did last time. Changed up a couple of things as far as my procedure with trying to be neat and tidy. So everything's kind of coming together. But this is where we're gonna be at. This is, again, not the situation I wanted, nor the content I wanted to produce for everybody, but this is where we're at. Last part of this video, I'm gonna show you guys the parts that we have and maybe talk about some of the other stuff we're gonna be doing with this thing. All right, first and foremost, we have a nice factory, let's see if I can get it down here. Nice factory head gaskets, Ford part number. So these guys are going in, nice fresh head gaskets. Obviously, we have to do that the right way. And then in here, Liant injector O-rings, we've got 8 of those. And we have our new lifters. These are a Ford part. I was told by my dear friend David Beach, and after doing some research, that a lifter failure in a 7.3 is not very common. That's really a 6-meter thing. So here is our Motorcraft lifters. Again, nothing super special here, but they're all wrapped up nice. If you guys have ever installed lifters in a 7.3, let me know down below. I've read some stuff online, some different material. Some people say to soak the lifters in oil overnight, which I've been told to do. And others say just do like an assembly lube on there and drop them in. I know they will get oil right away, but I bought some of this stuff, some Ultra Slick Engine Assembly Lube from Permatex. I love Permatex products, so we'll give that a shot if needed. And the classic RTV TA31 Motorcraft silicone in case the front cover's got to come off. And that's really it as far as the parts go. I'm hoping this is all I'm gonna need for this because I really don't want to go super crazy with it, besides some of the other things that we're gonna have to change up. So that's where we're at, guys. If there's anything else you want me to cover, anything you want me to talk about while we're doing this build or show you, I'm happy to do that. So please drop a comment below if there's anything that you'd like to see. As always, I appreciate the support. Just stay tuned for all this stuff. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you guys can see when we post a new video. This should be kind of exciting. We'll do some time-lapse stuff. We'll do some in-depth engine stuff. And you guys can watch me break down and install all of the new parts. As always, check out our sponsors, JellyvillePerformance.com and CompletePerformance.com. Those guys can get you anything you need for your old body Ford, your F-Series, your Broncos, your 7.3s, your Super Duties, your OBS trucks. Those guys are the plug for anything that you need. That's all I got, guys. Sorry it wasn't as exciting as the other videos, but this is what we're working with. So looking forward to all the new content. My name is Brandon, and this is the 7.3 Garage. We'll see you very soon.